What if I told you that your habit of snacking in front of the TV or the constant browsing of YouTube could be changed? What's more, it could be turned into something exceptionally good. Today, I will present to you a very important idea taken from Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, which dives into changing your habits altogether. Hi, my name is Sophie, and you are watching Psychology Unleashed, a YouTube channel established to exploring psychology, life hacks, and book reviews to inspire you. Of course, when I mentioned the habit of clicking on YouTube videos, I didn't mean my channel. No, my channel is good and educational, and if you agree with me, please subscribe and share it with a friend who has a frustrating habit. For example, eating far too much and avoiding physical effort at all costs, or smoking. The Power of Habit is an extremely rich and interesting book. I would like to focus today on one key aspect, changing the habit, which can be very burdensome. Habits can be anywhere, from the mundane constant peeking at your smartphone to eating at night even though you are not hungry, maybe smoking or getting drunk on payday. It could even be more damaging behavior, like gambling. Habits can also be good, but since we're talking about change, it means that there is something wrong. The method of cutting down on a habit by tying your hands can often do us more harm, and especially guilt and self-esteem. If after 2 to 4 days we break our iron rule and return to the habit with double the force. So how do you change your habit? The author characterizes our habit in a very clear way as a set of psychological elements which we perform unconsciously. To get rid of it, we must understand it well. So here's how a habit works. First, we have a trigger. This is an unconscious and critical moment in the process. It can be anything from emotion, time of day, specific words, smell, literally anything. The most obvious example of this is called stress eating. Some people have the situation that when they are stressed, they just eat more. It is important for them to eat something. They are opposite to people who can't eat anything out of stress, or smokers who just keep smoking. I personally have a lot of knowledge about this because I have unfortunately dealt with the persistent habit of smoking cigarettes, and with a lot of stress, it is very easy to increase my habit. To be able to overcome a habit, you need to clearly identify when you are liberating yourself. In my case, the stress. But what stress? Mainly job-related stress. So if I don't do something in my professional life, I reach for a cigarette and a lighter very quickly. Secondly, we have the routine. You just have to track down what the trigger is. What is going on when I am longing for that cigarette? If I have a pack of cigarettes in my handbag, I reach for them right away. But what if I didn't have them in my handbag? I use my free time to go to the store to buy some, or I would go to the store right away. Simple, 2 paths, either when I could or I deliberately went to the store. With habits like constantly peeking at my smartphone or even crazy clicking on YouTube for more videos, it's a bit more complicated. To describe your routine, you have to think about what you do before you consume this entertainment. Some are easy to identify. For example, I have a stressful project at work or a stressful moment with my family, and I go to the balcony and light up. But some are difficult to identify, like the smartphone situation, or when you feel like taking a risk at gambling. So try to stay aware of the steps which precede your routine, which leads to the habit. At the end of the habit, there's a prize. In the case of smoking, it's a feeling which is relieved by nicotine. But there is also something which has come out of my analysis, which I will discuss in a moment. Smoking a cigarette made me forget about stress for a while. When people gamble, they experience the feeling of winning. When eating from the fridge, it satisfies the feeling of hunger. The prize is often hidden deep in our heads, and although it seems to be the key part and the most important of this habitual puzzle, notice that the prize will result in none of the negative habits that will solve. After all, the real problems will not disappear with the cigarette. The diet will not last with stress eating, and the debts will not pay off with a win on the slot machine. The prize is something very difficult to find. In complicated addictions, such as looking at your smartphone or addictive spitting, yes, there are in fact people like this, you can imagine this is the case. However, in this aspect, it is worth testing yourself. If you're really interested in changing your habit and you have identified a trigger in your routine, the test idea is very much worth it. What I mean is taking your routine and putting it into pieces. For example, when I am stressed, I go to the store to buy some cigarettes and relax. So the elements of the situation are stress, going to the store, consuming, and therefore relaxing. Since I don't have much control over the stress, I change first. I bought chewing gum instead. I wasn't satisfied, so I bought a vaporizer, which was better. But then I went to the store and I didn't buy anything and I felt terrible. After considering it was going to the shop and finding the situation didn't help, I would just find other ways to relax. I considered the next thing, which was the cigarettes themselves. I would smoke and it was very good, and then I tried to relax. I asked myself, what else is making me relax in this situation? I tried not to smoke and play addictive video games. It wasn't bad, but then I would take short breaks. So in the end, it just got worse and worse, and I would end up in the shop again after this. Finally, I tried to leave the house, but not to go to the store, but for a longer, intense walk to a place where there were no stores. It was so exhausting, but what happened? It worked perfectly. I was relaxed. I didn't feel the need for that cigarette. Then I tried to exercise to help with my stress, and I went to dance classes. This was even better. The reward was twice as good. So what is the conclusion? The increased level of dopamine, the hormone of happiness and reward, cigarettes resulted in a quick jump of this hormone and a feeling of relaxation. It wasn't about smoking, shopping, or walking. I could quickly make a conscious choice. If the stress was hitting, I now have a choice: a shop and a quick gratification, after which I feel twice as bad, or I could exercise, preferably regularly, keeping my hormone levels high. Now, armed with such knowledge and self-awareness, I was able to face the habit and create a new, healthier exercise habit. My trigger disappeared after a while, and I won twice. Charles Duhigg discusses research that clearly shows that if you diagnose your habit and experiment with it a little bit to get to the heart of the problem, you can consciously start to change it by finding a healthier alternative for it. In short, don't cut the habit, because it can come back with double the force and double the guilt. Track the process of its release, and when it is released, make a conscious decision to break it. This will help you identify the true reward. Finally, replace the components to achieve a similar or the same reward in a harmless or healthier way. I hope you have enjoyed our animation, and please feel free to leave us a comment. I thank you for your attention and invite you to discover our channel. If you are not yet one of the subscribers of the channel Psychology Unleashed, please click the subscribe button and wait for our next animation.